A major winter weather pattern is developing across the United States. And what makes this particularly significant is not just the snow or ice we're going to see, but the meteorological setup driving it all. Right now, conditions across the country are telling two very different stories, and understanding where we are today helps explain what's coming in the next several days. Across the Gulf Coast from Texas through Louisiana and into Mississippi, temperatures have been running 10 to 15 degrees above normal. Mississippi saw severe weather and tornado warnings Tuesday morning. That warm, unstable air mass has been sitting over the region. In South Carolina, it's been rainy with near-record warmth this week. Eastern Colorado saw temperatures drop to 17 degrees with wind chills down to 5 degrees. That's the Arctic air we need to discuss. The contrast is remarkable. Northeast Florida has enjoyed perfect weather for the past 10 days. Clear skies, comfortable temperatures. Missouri has been quiet. Temperatures around 40 degrees, calm conditions, almost unremarkable for anyone watching winter weather. South central Wisconsin was seeing rain Tuesday morning. Some areas are already reporting the transition to snow. That's how quickly this pattern is shifting. This isn't a typical storm system. What we're dealing with is an exceptionally strong high-pressure system moving out of Canada. This high is driving Arctic air much farther south than we typically see. And when that cold air mass overruns the natural moisture and warmth hanging around the Gulf of Mexico, we get significant winter weather. It's a textbook battle zone setup. The National Weather Service has issued winter storm watches and warnings from the southern plains through the mid-Atlantic. The Weather Prediction Center is showing a rare, widespread 15 to 30% probability of significant winter weather impacts. That's the highest category they use. If there was a category above that, this would qualify. Let me walk through the timeline and what we're expecting in different regions. Friday marks the beginning. Precipitation will develop quickly from the Rockies to the Appalachians. The Oklahoma and Texas panhandles will see snow first. Models are showing 8 to 9 inches possible in areas like Woodward, Oklahoma. This is the most confident part of the forecast because it happens soonest. The models have a better handle on the near-term situation. Kansas will see snow. Oklahoma will start as snow. Even Missouri and Kentucky begin as snow. But there's a transition zone where freezing rain becomes the main concern. Unfortunately, areas like Dallas and Memphis are potentially in that zone. Exactly where that line sets up is still being determined. It shifts in the model runs. We'll have better clarity. Wednesday, Saturday into Sunday is when the peak impacts occur. The purple shaded area on Weather Prediction Center maps extends from the southern plains through Tennessee and into the mid-Atlantic. This is where we expect the most significant impacts from both snow and ice. The general pattern is this. Farther north you are, more likely you see predominantly snow. Farther south, more likely you see a mix of sleet, freezing rain, and ice. But that dividing line can shift 50 to 100 miles in either direction. And 50 miles makes all the difference between a foot of snow and a crippling ice storm. Little Rock, Memphis, Huntsville, even areas in the Appalachian Mountains near Asheville could see significant icing, or they could end up with all snow. The models are still working this out. What we know with high confidence is that someone in this region will experience a major ice event. The physics support it. The setup supports it. We just can't pinpoint exactly where yet. Ice storms are particularly dangerous. Quarter-inch accumulations start bringing down tree limbs. Half-inch accumulations bring down power lines. 3/4 of an inch to an inch causes catastrophic damage to infrastructure. Some model runs are showing over an inch of ice accumulation in parts of Georgia, over 2 inches in areas of North Carolina. These are extreme values. If they verify, we re-looking at widespread, long-duration power outages. And this is where the meteorology gets concerning. Normally with winter storms, we have a low-pressure system that moves through and moves out. Temperatures moderate afterward, not this time. That massive high-pressure system settling over the eastern United States will keep temperatures brutally cold for days after the precipitation ends. Look at the forecast low temperatures for Tuesday morning. Huntsville, Alabama. minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit. That is not wind chill, that is the actual air temperature. It will be colder in Huntsville than in parts of Canada. Memphis, minus 6 degrees. Clarksville, Tennessee, minus 9 degrees. Now imagine those temperatures with millions of people without power after an ice storm. Homes in the Deep South are not built for sustained sub-zero temperatures. Most people don to have backup heat sources. This is a serious situation if the ice materializes as some models suggest. Sunday into Monday, the system continues eastward. The mid-Atlantic region looks like it will see significant snow. How much depends on the storm track. Some models show the system moving out to sea quickly, less snow in that scenario. Other models show it intensifying and riding up the coast. That would mean major snowfall from Virginia through New England. The national blend of models, which averages all the major forecast models, is painting a significant bullseye around Richmond, Virginia. 17 inches of snow in the current blend. That is not one model showing an extreme number. That is the average. Richmond consistently shows up in the heavier snow bands across multiple model runs. The consistency there is notable. New York City is showing 7 inches in the blend. Nashville 7 inches, Knoxville 10 inches. These are conservative numbers being averages. Individual model runs show higher amounts. Some areas in Tennessee and Arkansas could see over a foot of snow. We just don't know which areas yet. There's another area of focus in the panhandles of Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas. 8 to 9 inches of snow looks likely there. The confidence is higher because this part of the event happens sooner. Less time for the forecast to change. For those waiting for specific numbers for your location, Wednesday and Thursday will bring better clarity. Right now, we re 72 to 96 hours out from the main event. That is far enough that small changes in the atmospheric setup create large changes in the forecast. By Wednesday, we'll be inside that window where the models converge on a solution. Let me address something important. Some of you have been through the blizzard of 78, the superstorm of 93, the ice storms of the 90s. You have experience with significant winter weather. This event has the potential to be in that category for some locations, but winter weather happened before and will happen again. This is not unprecedented. It is significant, but it is winter weather. That said, don't underestimate this because you've seen worse. The ice threat combined with the extreme cold afterward creates a dangerous situation. Preparation is essential. Here is what you need to do now, not Friday when the weather arrives. If you are in the potential ice zone, assume you could lose power for an extended period. Have multiple ways to stay warm that don't require electricity. Never use generators indoors. Carbon monoxide kills quickly and silently. If you use a generator, it stays outside with proper ventilation. Have food that doesn't require cooking. Fill bathtubs with water before the storm. If you lose power, you lose water pressure. That water in the tub can be used for flushing toilets. Protect your pipes. When temperatures drop below 20 degrees, let faucets drip. Moving water is harder to freeze. If your pipes do freeze and you hear sputtering from faucets, the water is already starting to freeze. Open cabinet doors under sinks to let warm air circulate around pipes. An extra $3 on your water bill is infinitely better than dealing with burst pipes and flooding. For those in the snow zone, if you're going to clear snow, do it in stages. Don't wait until 18 inches accumulates. Clear 6 inches, rest, clear the next 6 inches. Heart attacks during snow removal are common. Know your limits. Stock up on any medications you need. If you have a weak supply, get more if you can. Same with pet food and supplies. If you heat with propane or kerosene, top off your tank now. Check on elderly neighbors. They are the most vulnerable in these situations. A wellness check before the storm and a plan to check on them during and after can save lives. For those with wood stoves or fireplaces, make sure you have adequate dry wood. Make sure your chimney is clear. Carbon monoxide detectors should have fresh batteries. If you don't typically experience this kind of cold, understand that multiple thin layers work better than one heavy coat. You want to trap air between layers. That's what provides insulation. Cover your head. You lose significant heat through your head. Bring pets inside. If you have outdoor animals that cannot come in, provide proper shelter with windbreaks and dry bedding. Make sure water sources 1T freeze. Do not travel unless absolutely necessary once this begins. Ice on roads is not manageable, even for experienced drivers. It doesn't matter if you have four-wheel drive. Ice is ice. Emergency responders can help you if they can safely reach you. Now let me talk about the meteorology in a bit more detail for those interested in the mechanisms at play. We have a blocking pattern setting up. That high-pressure system over eastern Canada is anomalously strong, over 1,040 millibars. That's exceptionally high pressure. It's going to sit there and not move. Like a boulder in a stream, it forces everything else to go around it. The jet stream is being pushed south by this high, way south. The jet stream is carrying Pacific moisture eastward. When that moisture-rich air encounters the Arctic air mass, we get heavy precipitation. And with temperatures in the teens and 20s, that precipitation falls as snow or freezing rain depending on the exact temperature profile. The temperature profile is critical. If we have a shallow, warm layer aloft with freezing temperatures at the surface, we get freezing rain. If temperatures are below freezing throughout the column, we get snow. If we have a deeper warm layer, we get rain. These layers can exist just 50 miles apart. That's why pinpointing the ice versus snow line is so difficult until we reach closer to the event. Small changes in temperature at 5,000 feet make huge differences at the surface. The GFS model has been trending slightly different from the European model. The GFS has been showing more of the ice staying south of Interstate 40. The European model has trended to bring the ice a bit farther north. The Canadian model splits the difference. As we get more data, these models will converge. Historically, storms with this setup tend to trend northward as we get closer. The warm air pushes a bit farther north than initially forecast. But this isn't a typical low-pressure system. This is driven by that enormous high pressure. The bias might not apply. We're in uncertain territory. The 6 to 10 day outlook shows brutally cold temperatures locked in place across the eastern two-thirds of the country. Well below average temperatures continue through the end of January. There are even signals for another storm system to impact the East Coast next week. Winter is not finished. Many of you in Maryland have been waiting for snow. You've gone 2 years without a major snowstorm in some areas. This pattern has potential, but I'm not going to promise anything until we see how the system develops. Managing expectations is important. For the Great Lakes region, you're on the northern fringe. You'll see the cold but less of the precipitation. Lake effect snow is possible on the backside of this system for areas downwind of the lakes. Florida, you are going to see unusually cold temperatures by Friday and Saturday. Most people there don to own heavy winter coats, and that's understandable given your climate. Multiple thin layers, as I mentioned earlier. Long underwear if you have it. The cold won't last as long there, but it will be uncomfortable. The Appalachian Mountains present a unique challenge. Elevation changes everything. Valleys might see ice while mountaintops see snow. If you are in the mountains of North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, or West Virginia, pay close attention to elevation-specific forecasts. I want to address the uncertainty directly. Weather forecasting has improved dramatically over the past 30 years, but we're not perfect. We can to be. The atmosphere is chaotic. Small initial differences create large downstream effects. That is why we give you probability forecasts and ranges instead of single numbers. What I can tell you with high confidence, a significant winter weather event will impact a large portion of the central and eastern United States from Friday through Monday. Heavy snow is likely in a swath from the southern plains through the mid-Atlantic. Significant icing is possible in the transition zone. Dangerous cold will follow. What I cannot tell you yet, exactly where the heaviest snow falls, exactly where the worst icing occurs, exactly how much snow or ice your specific location receives. Wednesday will bring more clarity. Thursday even more. By Friday morning, the forecast will be locked in for the first wave. By Saturday, we'll know the East Coast track with certainty. I'll be providing updates daily through this event. When the storm arrives, we'll likely be live for extended periods covering the impacts as they unfold. The important thing now is preparation. Don't wait. Don't assume it will miss you. Don't assume you can run to the store Friday morning. Friday morning might already be too late in some areas. This is winter weather. It happens. You've seen it before if you've lived in these regions long enough. But each storm is different. Each storm requires respect and preparation. For those in areas that rarely see this kind of weather, don't panic, but do take it seriously. Listen to local emergency management. Follow guidance from the National Weather Service for your area. They know your local situation better than any national forecast can address. The cold temperature records could fall in some locations, not because this is the coldest air mass ever, but because it is unusually far south. Places that rarely see single-digit temperatures will see them. Places that rarely see below zero will see it. After the storm passes and cleanup begins, continue to be careful. More injuries occur during cleanup than during the event itself. Shoveling snow, clearing ice, slipping on frozen surfaces, overexertion, hypothermia. Take your time. Ask for help if you need it. For those who heat with electricity and face the possibility of extended outages, have a plan. Where will you go if your home becomes uninhabitable? Can you stay with family or friends who have gas heat or wood stoves? Warming centers will be opened in many communities if this becomes a widespread power outage situation. If you're in an apartment without backup heat options, identify now where the warming centers will be in your community. Have a way to get there that doesn't require driving if roads are impassable. This event has the potential to be significant. It has the potential to be talked about for years. But it also has the potential to shift and not be as bad as the worst-case scenarios show. We'll know more in the coming days. Check back Wednesday for a more detailed forecast with specific snowfall ranges and ice accumulation forecasts. Thursday, we'll fine-tune further, and Friday, we'll be tracking the event as it unfolds in real time. Winter weather is part of life in these regions. We prepare, we adapt, we get through it. This one requires extra attention because of the combination of snow, ice, and extreme cold. But it's manageable with proper preparation. Stay informed. Stay prepared. Don't be scared, be ready.